What's up, people? If you're watching this, you're probably wanting to put the Chromebook back together from finding the video that was here. So we're just gonna put it back together, basically in reverse of how we did it, which is why I said you could watch it in reverse. So we're gonna get this mic and plug it back in how it should be. Make sure the tape that you kept on top is facing the back, because that's how it was in the beginning. That's how it was to begin with. And be really careful with this, because it's a small, tiny thing, which is why I'm using my fingers right now, because I need to keep this sticker back and make sure it's still supported there. There we go. Crap, that's in the wrong way. No, it's not. Sorry. I keep thinking I put it in that way. It's held on at the front. That's the way it goes. The sticker goes right there. I forgot. I thought that last time I had to do this too. I remember that now. So now we just stick this camera back on here. It's not a strong adhesive. It was mostly these two pegs that were keeping it on. That's about it. And now we stick this mic back on here. Take this screw that we had. Uh-oh. Now this magnet, I'm just going to put it back with all my other magnets. And we're just going to put this back on. And make sure it's somewhat lined up, because there is plastic outlines to where they should be. It's like a corners here and here on this, just to keep it in place. And then we'll run this back down. We want to line it up as much as we can how it was to begin with. So like you can see these plastic, where are my tweezers? This plastic stuff here is where it's supposed to run across. That's what it's supposed to sit on. And then we'll take this and go under the hooks that are here in between this and the screen. Around this corner here, between that and then down under that hook. It's not an easy thing to get to necessarily, so you have to go around this corner and then down under that hook. There are easier things in here to do. I'm saying this is not one of them. Especially for how stiff it is. It's a lot easier to take apart than it is to put back together. So this might be a longer video. It's a lot easier to destroy than it is to create. That's what I like to say, and I believe that's a saying from somewhere. I just don't know where it's from. Leave down in the comments if you know, or in chat, but nobody's watching. I just do this for fun. And then we'll stick it in between these two plastic things, and then go across, go under that hook, between those plastic things, wrong side of the hook. In between these two plastic things, you're starting to see a pattern here. I am. And then under the hook, in between those two things, under the hook. It's a lot easier to do with my fingers. It's just you guys can't see what I'm doing when I do with my fingers. Under the hook again. And take that corner under this hook between these two plastic things that are here. Is that a hook there? It is. Under that hook. And here, under this hook. Under this hook. And then now we're back to the beginning. I believe this sticker needs, if you wanted to, this sticker goes across, goes on that. And this sticker goes on this little peg here, which is what we had at the beginning. And then this goes under that hook. Just gonna wrap that like that. And remember, take this black bar up, take this into there, push the black bar down, well, first make sure it's actually all evenly put, it's all pushed in there, then push the black bar down, and then we'll put this sticker back on there, and then that's all for this. Now we gotta do the back side of this. That's the keyboard, not the back side. Here, don't fall, please. Here's the back side. The only thing we did on this was unplug this G sensor, so I'm going to plug it back in. Just take it, really just sort of mess around with it until you get it to somewhat work. Move it around a bunch. Can't get it to come up enough. And then plug till it lines up and then just push. So this might take me a little bit, so I'm going to pause the video real quick. Alright, that didn't take me as long as I thought it would, but right now I'm just pushing it in after, like just to make sure that it's actually all the way in there, so I don't have to come back and do this. We could have took these off, but that's just the hinges yet again. We don't want to mess with that. So now we take the front part of this, put it back on top like so. What we do have to do is make sure that this cord, this video cord here, is put like these here, shoved in there, because or else it'll just look really weird for one, and it's not gonna be hidden from the outside. So like we just gotta take it, shove it in there as much as we can, because after that we'll worry about it later. We'll worry about it more the further we go on. But we want to get this first part, like this part here, we want to make sure that's in there. So I've done this before. It's It's not an easy thing to maneuver around when you're trying to shut this, because it wants to be pinched between the hinge and everything else. Because now look, now it's there. It would be right here if it wasn't. So now this one, this is easier to put back together on this part, because it's just pushing it all in. But the hard part is you gotta make sure that you get all of it. All of it's down correctly. Alright, looks to all be correct. Now we can take a look at this, make sure it's actually working correctly, make sure it's actually in there correctly, and then we can get the keyboard. This gets easier because you know what you did to undo it, so you know what you did, so now you know what you had to do to undo it. So now we just put this back on, which way? Oh, yeah.
Dude, your room smells horrible.
If you didn't hear, a parent came in, which is what that was. I'm gonna play music again, because I just forgot to play it since I paused it last time. And I realized it was too quiet. Okay. So what we probably want to do first is get this motherboard back in, because that's the most important part. If you don't know, the motherboard is basically the brain of the entire computer. You break this or lose this, your entire computer will not work. Now if we go back and remember, be sure all these cords are above the motherboard before you screw it down. I've had that problem multiple times. So I couldn't get them back up because they were glued down and stuff. Now you want to line it up to where it's over that. Like there's a peg here and screws stuff here. But if we remember, only 2 screws were in here. And those 2 screws are these 2 silver ones here. I forget to screw something in. Anyways, go watch the video. There'll be a video at the end. About going back to the teardown. So if at the end of this video I miss a screw, I'll tell you to go watch that. See where I missed the screw and put it back in. But I'm gonna do that off camera because it takes forever to upload stuff. My mom wants this to be done in the next 15 minutes. Uh-oh. I forgot there was a different silver screw. They're different links. They're different links. Gotta find out which one's shorter. Sit them next to each other. Because if this one is shorter than we know already. Actually, wait, no, they're not different links. That's why I didn't put it somewhere else. They're not different links. I don't know what I was thinking. Just don't remember where that screw went. It's not a good thing. Oh, it's this screw. We'll put this on next. See, at least they color code it if it's different. This one, this was manufactured with only one screw here. It's a little weird, but that's how it was manufactured. It's on all of them. And then, since we unplugged it from the motherboard, we plug it into the motherboard by lifting up. Making sure these this back black stuff back here, this back black line, is lifted up, and then we can put it in. And then what we'll do is just push this back down. Make sure this is lifted up back here. This is easier when you have fingers, but I realize that you guys can't see it when I'm doing fingers. Slide it in. Push this back down. We could do...
I boosted my credit score by 52 points.
Okay, it's still Game Chops. I don't have to skip it. So we're going to put these hinges... We're going to try and put the hinges back down. I'm going to start this over before I unmute it. Alright. So, there we go. Had to move this entire thing up a little bit. Now we want to push this side up as much as possible. There. Now it's done. Now we can take the ones that we put on our magnet earlier and separated from the rest of the group. That's what I didn't want to happen before. Now we can take them and put them where they need to be. So it needs to be on this one. I remember this. It needs to be here. Said it needs... That was stupid of me. This one doesn't go here. Sorry about that. It goes here. I knew it didn't feel right. Or here or here. I can't quite remember. Go back to the video and watch it. But as long as it stays in place, that's what I wanted. Alright, now we can take this and put it where it needs to be. It needs to be here. Then it needs to be here. Crap. And then it needs to be... I think either one of those holes, it'll work. Why'd you do that? I'm gonna put it up here at this top one though. Yeah, my keyboard has a magnetic wrist on it, so it's got a magnet in it, which is why it's attracting the magnet. Nope, I don't like that. Never mind. It's got a lip on it. I'm putting it over here. Again, if you want it exact, take a picture before. Or have a reference one. I have a reference one. I don't want to take that apart. And then this one goes here. And this one, put this back up with my rest of my magnets. This one goes here. Oh, there's actually an arrow. Didn't see an arrow on that one. There's an arrow on this one. You just gotta push it down tight to get it to work correctly. Yep, arrows there. Okay. This is why we wanted it to be in that hole. Because now we'll get it into this top hole up here. Go under this hook. There's a hook here. We'll go under it. And then we'll plug this back in. Make sure you lift up that. Push it in, sort of at an angle like this, and then down, and then flip that back down. And that's connected. Now we've got our mic for our front one. It's on our keyboard, which we haven't even connected our keyboard yet, but it doesn't matter as long as it's not connected to power. It doesn't matter. It all connects at once. What you want to do is push this in, basically. Just that's it. This one is just a push in. I have a fear of like breaking the cables by pushing it in. Take it on both sides here and push down. This is the same, except it's bigger, so it's a little bit easier. It's a lot easier to use my fingers to do this, but I guess I can use tweezers. I'm gonna line it up. I feel like I have more control with my fingers. I'm gonna line it up and just push it. Push it in. God, frickin'. I think this used one from the last one, too. I mean, from Zelda and Chill 2. Don't know, though. It's music, but it's all about lining it up is the problem. The problem is lining it up. Most of the time, because you have to line it up just right to get it to go in there. I don't have an overhead light or lamp or anything. It's a little hard to see where I'm going. There. Okay. Now we're going to put the sticker down. Now this one. Okay, we're going to take these and go through here. I'm gonna eventually do my the Dell Chromebook that's here. Take that apart because they're two different things. Like it doesn't have a Wi-Fi card and stuff like that. It also doesn't have this second one. Most of them. There are some that do. I don't think this one does. I think newer ones do. Okay, that's connected. Let's get our Wi-Fi card, put it there so we remember to do that. We plug that in last though. We plug those in. Let's plug this in here, and then we plug this in this other side. Then we'll plug the mouse pad in. Make sure this white part's lifted up. And line it up correctly. This is much easier to do when you have fingers, but if I use my fingers, I block y'all's view. You can't see what I'm doing, so I'm trying to not use my fingers as much as possible. There. Now it slides in, and once you have that slide in, push that back down, and put that sticker back on. Now we'll do this. First, make sure that this is pushed down like we did to undo it. Make sure it's pushed down, and then slide this in there, and then push it back up on both sides. Make sure it's nice and tight, and put that sticker back down. We have speakers to get to. Let's put speakers in. So first off, put this to us, our left speaker, but it's the right speaker of the one it's facing correctly up. So basically, if you have to replace speakers, you have to buy both speakers because they're connected. Sorry to disappoint you if you were just trying to replace one. Should have said that in the last video. Then we go up over that, under that, through all this plastic. You can sort of see a trail that it wants you to take. Follow that for the wire. This is essentially a lot faster. Than what we were. Mostly because this is the first time I've done this, a complete teardown. Only did a complete teardown to know how to do it better. Know different parts of it. Let's put that there, and look. Perfect. Just gotta follow the trail that it wants you to take, which actually is on the other side of this and under that hook. Besides that, that's fine. And then we'll take this, put that tape back on there. Take this, put it into there. Boop. Push it back in. We're done with that. Did something used to go in that? I don't. Oh, that's the battery. Yeah, don't mess with that. I think that's all the things that need to be plugged in on the motherboard besides our Wi-Fi card. Let's get that. So to get the Wi-Fi card back in, move these out of the way for one. You put it in, slide it in like that. Now you'll notice it slants up. But that's what our small little black screws are for, is to keep that down. So push it down, and then put the screw back on. And it looks like I didn't misplace a screw, which was perfect, because now we've got the two screws here to put the mouse pad back on, and then that's actually it. And then, of course, the screws that go in the back. Let's go ahead and put the mouse pad on. We'll lift this up a little bit. Peel back this sticker more so that it gets on top instead of on bottom. Like, put your thumb there to keep it there. And then we can let go once it's here, because now we can pull that up to the top. Right, and then we'll slide it back in here. Actually, you have to go from the back because there's these hooks here to do that. And now we can, I'll hold this here to keep it tight. And now we can put the screws back in. Just go in this corner. And then in this corner. If you watched my video last time, remember it's not necessary for it to be magnetic. It just makes it easier of life. Also, if you wanted it to be magnetic, I'm just now realizing that people might watch this first for some reason. Not my question to ask. I think I've had to do that before, but if you want it to be magnetic, you can literally just take like a magnet you get from your house, boop it on. It doesn't even have to be this small. It doesn't need to be specific. Like, I used to do it before I got this set from my school. I used to do it with this. This works. And I just put the magnet on there before I got my magnetizer, and it would magnetize it. That's all you have to do to magnetize it. Because now you put that magnet on there, less magnetization towards the tip, more magnetization towards the tip. But if you go too far, the magnet's just going to clip right next to it. And yeah, it's not necessary. It just makes things easier. Because the screw stays on where you want it to. Now we'll just plug this in. And make sure this black part, there's a black part there that was flipped up. You need to flip up. Make sure that's plugged in. Make sure that's flipped up. And then just gonna try to get this to slide in there. Now it is, see that TP on there? It means touchpad. That's all abbreviations for what they're connected to. Motherboard is over here, which is MB. There to anything that's a ribbon. This is hard to do without, like I was saying, this is hard to do without my fingers because I can't feel and have as much control. But it's so you guys can see what I'm doing. Which, this is actually being a piece of crap. So I'm going to use my fingers and try to do it to where you guys can see it. Because it's not wanting to go in. Oh, I'm just going to get mad at me if I don't do this fast. Maybe. She might not. Hopefully she won't. She's literally just wiping Windows and said, okay. So you feel that slide go in and it gets in there. Flip this black part back down. Like that. Then we can put this tape back over it. Be sure these are pressed down onto the tape, onto the touchpad, because I'm not sure if those are sensors or not. I would rather be safe than sorry. So, just so they are. And then I believe that's all for that. So the last thing we need to do is put the battery on and plug this back in. So I'm just taking it. This is why I kept the sticker on before. I'm just taking it, just gonna push it right back in like that. Just push it in, and once you feel it move in, you can put this sticker back down. This sticker just holds the battery in, but the back is enough to hold it there. So I do believe that's it, and we're finished. Besides, so we can now put this on. So I like to go from this side, the one on the side that has the aux, and I like to slide that aux in first, and then we can press down. Here's some nice crackling. And now we add all of our screws back. So what I like to do is act like this is a fragile motherboard, because it could be. Not when I'm taking it off. Taking it off doesn't really matter. But I'll go from top corner and try to spread it out. Like if you ever put on a tire and how they say to do that, that's what you want to do here. That's what I like to do, just to be safe. So we'll go opposite corners first. To keep pressure off of it. Pressure sort of equal. You would do this definitely on a motherboard because that is way more fragile. Like the middle two that we had on there, I would have done those last, but we didn't have. That's the only ones we had. And then we go down here. Then, as you can see, after we get this screwed in all the way and nice and tight, I'm going to make sure that all these are tight, because that one seemed abnormally long for me to screw in. Alright, you can see we now have a square here, so you can decide what to do next. It doesn't matter. You can do a square here, 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 and here, or here, stuff like that. Or you can go here to here and then do the square. These last parts I like to keep them last. But right now, I'm gonna go top left first. And then I'll go. See, that's what magnetization makes it easier. It just stays on there, which is so nice, especially when you have to pull it out. And then bottom right. And here. It's also easier to take out of the thing, because you see how I just put my thing in there, and then with the magnetization, the being magnetized, you can just boop and get them out of there instead of having to pick them out of there with my hands. For people that are wondering, like I probably would, no, I'm not left-handed actually. I'm going to the left so I can pull to the right, which is my dominant side. 7 instead of having to pull to the left. This one isn't going to go in. Odd. I think I know why. Give me a second. So I need to take this off actually to get to it, if you were wondering. If you followed my exact steps to put this together, take this off. Oh, and if you don't know how, it's as simple as just this gray part, go underneath it, and pull that up after you got all the screws out. Now, what I did make a mistake of before, that screw here is not supposed to go there. It's supposed to go here because that's where it screws in when I put it on there, which is why it wasn't going in, because it needs to be down here. I had a feeling it needed to go down there. I just didn't actually act on the feeling, because it needs to be down here, because that screw is right there. That's where the screw on the back screws in. Keep an eye on that spot right there. Like, watch. Gonna slide it from the aux side, same spot. Get that nice crunch. Sorry, phone repair guru, I just had to. If you guys don't know it, you guys don't know it. There, just making sure all that was lined up correctly. So now, we're gonna do that one first. See, now it works. That was the problem. Alright, I'm gonna get back to what I was before, so you guys don't have to re-watch that again. I'm gonna pause it, get back to what I was before, and then I'm gonna play it again, so you guys will see the rest. Okay, so we're back to where we were. As I was saying before, I go to the left so I can pull right when I have to. Like, I'll see from here to here. I pull left instead of pushing to the left. I pull to the right. And also, it doesn't matter which order you go in. I just do this out of safety, to go pressure-wise out of safety. That's it. Because I'm used to like putting on a motherboard, and you have to do it evenly, or like a tire. You have to distribute the pressure evenly. I just do that out of safety. Alright, and we're done. This baby's put back together. Only problem is the screen needs repaired. That's it, that's on this. And the battery's dead. That's because I haven't charged it. But that's it, we're done. And if you want to see the video where we take this apart, there should be a video about right here. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!